Day 9. Another day, another advent of dreams, etc. Let's get right into it. I want to just get this done basically as quick as I can tonight. I got other stuff that I want to do, but Advent of Dreams has to happen. So let's see. What are we working with today? Rope bridge. This rope bridge creaks as you walk along it. You aren't sure how old it is, or whether it can even support your weight. It seems to support the elves just fine, though. The bridge spans a gorge which was carved out by the massive river far below you. You step carefully. As you do, the rope stretch and twist. You decide to distract yourself by modeling rope physics. Maybe you can even figure out where not to step. Consider a rope with a knot at each end. These knots mark the head and the tail of the rope. If the head moves far enough away from the tail is pulled toward the head. Due to nebulous reasoning involving plank lengths, you should be able to model the positions of the knots on a two-dimensional grid. Then, by following a hypothetical series of motions, your puzzle input, for the head, you can determine how the tail will move. Due to the aforementioned plank lengths, the rope must be quite short. In fact, the head, H, and tail, T, must always be touching. Diagonally adjacent, and even overlapping, both count as touching. If the head is ever 2 steps directly up, down, left, or right from the tail must also move 1 step in that direction so it remains close enough. Otherwise, if the head and tail aren't touching and aren't in the same row or column, the tail always moves 1 step diagonally to keep up. This is baffling. This is bizarre. You just need to work out where the tail goes as the head follows a series of motions. Oh. Well, that doesn't actually seem so bad. Let's see. So if we move right 4, up 4, left 3, down 1, right 4, down 1, left 5, right 2, this series of motions moves the head right 4 steps. Yeah. After each step, you'll need to update the position of the tail if the step means the head is no longer adjacent to the tail. What is all, like, I'm trying to figure out if these dots mean anything in the problem. You know? Like, do I know that it's a 6 by 5 grid, or are they just doing this to, like... So the head would start here, then it would right 4, then up 4, and by doing so the tail stays in place for 1 step, but then gets yoinked to basically move. Why wouldn't it move that way? They said it always moves diagonally? Yeah, if they aren't in the same row or column, then it moves diagonally. Okay. So as it moves up, it moves to here, then to here, causing the tail to move diagonally, then up, then left 3. Again, it does this diagonal thing where it like must move diagonally in the direction of the thing. And it pulls over there, then it pulls down by 1 but right 4. So in that point, in that case, the tail like sticks there. and it goes right 4, but eventually pulls down that way. And then left 5 does a much similar thing, and then right, the head covers the tail. Yeah. So after simulating the rope, you can count up all of the positions the tail visited at least once. In this diagram, S again marks a starting position. This mic stand, this mic arm is the worst. I need to buy a new one, I swear. This is like the Blue Yeti special. And it just falls over. So, 13 positions that the tail visited here. Okay, well this is interesting. And I would like to solve it in a sort of simulational way. But I'm not entirely sure what that'll look like yet. Wow, that's nice and slow. Okay. Well, let me put this into OBS and we can get on with it. What is this? Wow, that sucks. OBS got deeply confused about where it wanted to put some stuff, and in the process it reset my camera, which throws off the white balance. It's great. OBS is such actually terrible software. Like, it's great that we have software that can do this stuff. It's also actually terrible. So, oh, I actually need my example input too. I forgot about that. Hang on. All the right, up, down, blah, blah, blah. Let's pull that in. And let's get into it. So, this is a little crazy, this one. In order to get good results out of this, we really need to stick to a grid. But I think that I can actually do it in a sort of in a more simulational way. And I'm curious kind of what I want it to look like. I kind of think that I'm literally going to have a couple elves with a rope between them, I think. One pulling the other along. Just because I think that would be funny. If I set up 2 elves here, this one I'm going to dive in and get rid of I'm going to make it so that it can't be possessed, which will just prevent me from accidentally taking control of it. I can't possess this one, but I can possess this one, which, annoyingly does make that one follow me anyway. I want to turn that off because I'm going to have other logic going on. Can I just delete the follow behavior? Yep. Okay. So that's good. And then what I can do is grab a rope. I might not end up literally doing this, but we'll see. That actually does work well. I mean, in that it like clearly sets that maximum distance, and incredibly, like, puppets in Dreams, I learned when you move them forcibly, still do running animations and stuff. In fact, you can like move the ground under their feet and they will still do running animations, which is wild to me. So it makes for some very easy, like, some very easy and very nice visual effects. I'll figure out how to actually like draw a rope between them later. And you know, actually, I think I'm probably not gonna have. Because I'm gonna need like a software rope, so to speak. If this elf is the main one actually running logic, then you know, it's going to be moving on a grid, and the other elf following it is presumably also going to move on a similar grid. So we'll maybe take advantage of this whole space here. So yeah, let's see. Let me grab a microchip that we can start writing our code on. I'm doing this wrong. There we go. I have scoped in. How do I set what this applies to? There we go. This microchip is attached to this elf. So if we need this guy to move on a grid, what is the most natural way to do that? I suspect the easiest thing to do would be to have a follower. That's one of the things that can make a Dreams object move. My other option would be an advanced mover, which I could use to explicitly set just a speed in each direction. But I think that a mover will make sense because I'll have like a destination coordinate that I want to go to. My only concern about this is that... Oh, you can just turn... Okay, no, this is actually fine. I'll just turn off strength and Y. I was worried about, like, I wanted them to be able to like run up and down slight hills because of the scene that I'll be doing this in later. But as long as I set 0 strength in Y, then it should be completely fine. And no damping in Y either. What is this? Follower direction damping? Oh. Just sort of generalized damping. Okay. Sure, whatever. So, my destination coordinates are, I think, going to be the heart of the math, and then I'll just pass that into that. I can get the distance. Can I get the distance to the point? Well, I can compute that by other means, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just a little bit surprised not to find that. Whatever. Let's put in the program here, the right, up, left, down, etc. That is going to be important to follow. So let's grab a little microchip that I'm going to call input. Now, what order do they list? Do they have a preference for order, or do I get to choose that myself? I'm gonna do, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna pick numbers that correspond to right, left, up, and down, I guess. I think that each step that we run is going to be a 2-number pair, where one number is where one number is the direction and the other number is the number of steps. Since we're just trying to get the example working here, I'll say 0 through 3 is right, up, right, down. I have to pick an order. Right, down, left, up, right, left, down. We'll do that clockwise from the top. Up, right, down, left. That's what I'm sticking with. Up, right, down, left. So, right by 4, and then we're just gonna get to stitch a whole lot of these together. And they're going to be positioned horribly, but I just want to spawn them all, I guess. How many steps are there? 8? Do I have 8? No, now I have 8. So they all line up except they don't all line up. Value sliders just have this really, really crap size, I guess, that just completely throws off anything that you would ever want to do to manipulate them. It's very weird. I don't know why it is that way. So, right by 4, up by 4, left by 3, down by 1, right by 4, down by 1, left by 5, and right by 2. Did I get that right? I hope so. It's kind of actually impossible to follow this because of how I spaced them together. So that's a little sad. And I don't know of any better way to improve the readability than this. It's too late. But it gets just a little easier on every single one. Hope I didn't move a slider there. I don't think I did. Okay. So there's all my program steps. I already messed this up. I was forgetting which one was up, and I gotta go through all this again. Right by 4. It goes up, right, down, left. Up is 0, right is 1, down is 2, left is 3. Right by 4. Up by 4. Left by 3. Down by 1. Right by 4. I knew I had a mistake in here. Down by 1. Left by 5. And right by 2. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Let me make the node that all of these are going to wire into. Snap that onto every single thing using that lovely shortcut that somebody told me about. Lovely. And then, somewhat less lovely, we're going to set up the selector that all of these things are going to stem from. 8 of these, and that means 8 power wires to feed in. That didn't work. There we go. What are you hooked up to? Dude, what are you hooked up to? What on earth is happening in the other room? Okay. It's all of those. And the remainder of our usual program setup. The total number of things, which I'm gonna take my chances, and I'm gonna wire that directly from here today. We also need the thing for the current index. So I'm gonna say current step is what we're on, because we're going to be doing this in steps. That's going to be wired into this active port thing. Over here, this one is going to be called num steps. And this one is going to be called step. So that makes our program input, which we'll be able to step through. For the time being, I don't really need to worry about anything except the first thing, so I won't bother dropping the iterator in yet. But we will start computing, I guess, our sort of, we're going to need like 2 variables, I think, to store like our relative x and y from the start, which I can just call x and y. Now, confusingly, I guess, somewhat confusingly, I think that the y here is going to correspond to the z in the dreams coordinate system. I'll probably make a couple bugs with that, but, you know, we'll see. MetaRunner, thank you for the follow. So, if we take this step and split it out again, we will get our direction that we want to go, which I guess I'll probably do a selector for this somehow. I feel like it only makes sense to have some values running into this selector here to handle the different directions. So up, right, down, left. And besides that, we're going to have the number of steps that we're going to do. But for now, I just want to do 1. You know, if we're starting in a particular place and we want to go to another place, than how much we want to go by. I'm going to start by just doing it sort of absolutely in the Dreams coordinate system here because we're at 0, 0 right now. I can offset it later using some tags and a little bit of vector math. That really shouldn't increase the complexity of the problem at all. To start, what do we actually need? Target position. All we need is a 3 number here to represent a position. And into that is going to go the X value and the Y value on the Z axis. That's going to feed into here. So if I turn this on, is it trying to move specifically his head? I mean, that's really not what I was intending, like, at all. I regret to inform you that his head cannot reach the origin with his feet in the way. So, okay, maybe I should, like, change exactly which thing this follower applies to. Because that, I just don't really think that that's what I want it to do. Let's see. We'll try just moving the whole guy. I think that might be the safer play. But let's see here. I want to just set... I'll just set X and Y to 1 for now. I just want to see them go. Okay, so this just don't anymore. What if I wire this to your torso? Is this how Dreams works? Stop looking at this, you're blocking the camera. This is also not working. This is also not working at all. Why? Gosh, what do I do to make this guy walk? Can I attach the microchip to the base of the puppet? Why no go? Why no go? Go, please. Are you just standing there? What are you attached to? Are you attached to the puppet base here? No, what am I doing? What am I doing? What are any of these options? There's so many options. What? Why? What do I do here, man? What? What? I just don't know what is happening. happening? Well, that doesn't help me. None of that helps me. Why, you know... Oh. I should have tried that a while ago. Okay, so that... I just needed it to be a stronger follower. Okay. I also... Let's see. So apparently... Positive Z is this direction. Try -2 and 2. He doesn't turn, which is odd. Okay, so the strength was also part of it. Well, can I add a rocket rotator to him so that he always turns in that direction? I mean, I think that might work. It's not really the end of the world that that's the way he moves. But it is a little strange. This is really funny. So, okay. I want to just figure out kind of the, like, running pattern thing first. Let me put these both back down to 0 as their initial. Wow, that didn't do what I meant it to do. I forgot that it was already negative. So, you're already at the desired position. And then basically, let's see, I'm going to need a tag on this guy that represents where we are currently at. This tag, I should really turn on grid snap again because I want this thing to be firmly at the origin. Wow, that's not the origin at all. I thought it was the origin. How could I have been so mistaken? There we go. So this tag is going to move with the guy and allow me to see how close we are to our desired target position. I specifically care about distance in X and Z. I'm only going to care about sort of two-dimensional distance when I'm considering this. What I need to do basically, I just want it to go until we are sort of above in the same column as the point that we were moving toward. So let's grab our position from this tag by grabbing first the full transform. Oh my goodness, and then the position. Now that we're going to pull down over here, I guess, where I'm just gonna make a little microchip called XZ distance because I want to keep this a little more contained. That's gonna take a couple inputs here, both of which are going to be 3-wire nodes, or 3-number wires, what am I saying? we're then going to, let's see, there should be, I want to look on here again. They have this convenient vector length calculator now, which saves me some Pythagoras. So I might as well just combine these down into another 3 that ignores the, or I wonder if it works with a 2. I mean, it should work with a 2 either way. So we're going to grab, oh, wait, what am I saying? I knew something was off about this. We're going to do a subtraction first. This vector minus that vector does not matter which is first. And then we're going to split that like so to effectively set z to 0. Or set y to 0 because we're doing the x and z distance. And then we'll get the length and then we'll return that. So, easy. Excuse me. When this is less than a certain amount, then we're basically done with our little move here. And I'm going to set this at like 0.1 meters or mystery units. At which point I can then, let's see. I'm going to set this back to 2 and -2 again. Yeah, that seems to work pretty well. He gets to within 0.1. So, but I think that should be a good enough distance for now. So, pretty good. And if I'm going to make this +2 now and do the relevant coordinate flip here. Because I consistently want that to be flipped to this z value everywhere that we use these sorts of positions and coordinates. So that seems pretty good. I am curious about just throwing a rocket rotator on this guy. It's like you're trying. You're sort of trying, dude. Oh, it's pointing in the wrong direction here. There we go. Cool. That works great. It's annoying that he runs away with the code, but other than that. That does what I want it to do. So maybe I'll leave the rocket rotator powered down for now, but rest assured, it's doing what I want it to do. So let's start actually stepping through this program and changing things based on the results. So what I'm sort of thinking is that each of these is going to be like a plus and minus pair coming in on these wires here. And I'm going to select which plus minus pair for X and Y corresponds to each direction we're going, and then I can just like pipe that right into our variable modifier things, and that should set the coordinates just like we want. So let's make some combiners here of type 2, and we can grab some value sliders that I can set to go from -1 to 1. So up is positive y. Oh, I guess it's 0. Yeah. I do need 0 in there. How convenient that I have it. So up is positive y, right? So bad. So bad. Why are you the way you are? Turn off that jank grid snap. Who even likes grid snap? Right is positive x, 0y. Down is negative y, 0x. And left is negative x and 0y. Those are all gonna wire in here. And this is going to be a pass-through or a bypass selector. Okay? Now, annoyingly, yeah, that is going to do this like stupid flicker thing, but like, oh well. Did I save that thing that I called init delay? Yeah. It's like weird and I don't really want to use it, but also like I kind of do want to use it. It like is just an extremely short timer to avoid the like pulse that happens here right at the start of the program. I could probably find a way to do like a legitimate 1 frame delay instead of just a real short timer like this, but and I doubt it matters anyway. So let's actually put these through into the variable modifier now. We will pipe all of these into the splitter. Only one will be active at a time anyway. And then let's grab some variable modifiers so we can change our X and Y. Let's see, let me do one at a time. We're gonna add to X when powered on, and the operation value will be determined by this. Crying out loud. This one will set Y, or add to Y rather. And they're starting out powered on, which I guess is the problem here. They have zeros coming into them and they're starting out powered on. So let me try zeroing these yet again. Should just stand in place now. And let me grab a switch that I can use to power these on. Yeah, so you moved to the right by 1. I'm just gonna pretend now. To the right by 1. To the right by 1. And to the right by 1. Excellent. Obviously he'll just keep doing this right now, but his coordinates are changing nicely, and that's the thing that I care about for now. So, remind me to raid a small streamer that I follow here at the end of this. So this should all work great when I hook it up to one or more iterators that we have here. So let me actually set those iterators up. The iterator is just it's a microchip that I created and have used, you know, extensively over the past week. That is essentially the for loop of dreams. It's like a little state machine where you can pass in, like, here's the upper count, and oh wow, thank you for the gift sub, Fleckromancer. I appreciate that. You can pass in the total number of iterations. There's an input to poke it to the, well, and on the output side, then you have the index of the iteration that you're on, whether you should use it or not, whether it's currently iterating to the next, etc. So I'm going to pass the use value of this to these because that's what that does. I'm going to pass the number of steps we're going to do into total. And then things are going to get a little weirder. We're going to have this thing feed back into here to determine when we've gone from one, like when we reach the end of that step of iteration. But all such major jumps like that I do with wireless transmitters now to avoid cycle problems. So let me drop in a transmitter receiver pair. The transmitter is going to be called next substep. Or I guess I could just do @dest, because that's really what the signal means, and then I could wire that into whatever I want. So when we're at our destination. So we'll do that, and we will move this over here and use that to power the next on this iterator. We will reset this iterator on another iterator over here. This iterator, when it goes to its next step, will reset this one. So, but I have to hook that all up later. For now, I kind of just want to see it. It's probably not quite right that it starts out. I suspect that it's gonna like pump this thing to, yeah, it's immediately like on its next index, which is really not what I want. Let me remove that wire. Let's see, how is this gonna work? The like initialization of this iterator is kind of the weirdest thing. So it's starting out powered, but frankly, this init delay is probably not helping me. But that also caused him to do one of his final, or one of his, he's just moving left for literally no reason because dreams suck. This is a conundrum. Let's start, let me hook up a couple other things just while I'm thinking of it. I do need to wire up the rest of this iterator, as well as have a button for stepping from one to the next because I don't want to do that automatically just yet. I'm going to free up some space on the graph here by shoving all of these directions into their own microchip. Directions. Yeah. But annoyingly, I still don't really have an answer to this like flicker at the end problem. Nor do I have an answer to the fact that these things start at 0, 0. I feel like I need kind of... I had this init delay, which I need to grab again, apparently. I feel like I just need this init delay on a bunch of things. Like, just don't start up this transmitter. Don't start up this selector. It's just gonna be a bunch of stuff that's on this, like, crappy little cycle. Even this iterator, though, I feel like shouldn't be active unless... Like, none of this should be active unless this thing is, I don't know. It's just so weird. It's just so weird. You know what? I'm just gonna throw this init delay on everything because haha. I think this needs to be a pulse. I can do that. So it's going to be at its destination, but I need to change the destination and I need this signal to go low so that we can move on. So we will turn this into a pulse. Yeah, that works nice. This guy's just in the way. Maybe I should move him out of the way for now. We can put him properly back on the grid later. Once he is done with this, then we can have a wireless transmitter that is like finished step. Not just finished. Race conditions do suck. They're just one of those suckages. So finished step here. Then up 4. No, not up 4. Okay, what happened? Why didn't he go up 4? My problems begin already. Why he go up exactly 1? Why he do that? Why did everything work except that? Oh, except it didn't. Jank. Jank! Why? What are you, huh? So when done with step, this thing needs to step to the next thing. I feel like I think there's a problem with, like, I'm only supposed to activate some of this other stuff when we are in the use state over here, which just, I love that, you know, I love it. I feel like that also should be sort of controlling power on these things. So that when we activate the next step, yeah, you need to just wait. I don't know. Let me try putting these two things in a microchip together. I'm also contemplating just putting a, oh gosh. Let me just see if this works at all. I'm also considering just putting some kind of delay in here, but why are you only going up by one? Like, why? Why? You know, why? So it's got 4 as the input. Then it stayed 4 and just did not go to 4. Yeah, and in fact, I don't think that it even reset correctly. Oh, this sucks. Tell you what. I want to try first putting a delay on... Well, I don't think I need a delay there. I'm going to put a delay here. When we finish a step, we're going to restart a timer that just, like, waits a second, which for aesthetic reasons will probably be better anyway. That'll pulse when it's done. It'll reset here, or it'll start the timer. Well, no, I guess I'll do the sort of reset tactic where I start it out at its maximum value, just so that it doesn't fire prematurely. It's still doing 1. It wasn't just like some mystery. Why? Why? It seems to be iterating correctly. Also, I can drop that somewhat. It's not, the direction that he's moving is fine, so that's not the issue. This didn't help at all, so forget that. It's just, it's prematurely saying done, really. I mean, that's kind of the crux of it here. And why would it do that? I mean, is this just yet another bug with my iterator somewhere? I don't want it to be, because I hate when there are bugs in my iterators. I mean, it should be going up to 3 here, and that's sort of what I'm looking at. It goes to 0, but then it just hits 1. Okay, so it's moving on to the next thing now. What is the state we are in? We are trying to use this thing. It's for some reason already moved along to this final state, which it arrives at only if so the total value, the number that we're stepping up to, the selector moves from A to B to C very rapidly. Basically, it is in the A position for most of it. I'll replay. But then when it's 1 away, it steps quickly through B to C and then to D. The reason for all this is because I want this iterator thing to have a very particular set of outputs, all mutually exclusive. I want it to continuously output. So like when I want something to use a value from the iterator, like the 0, 1, 2, 3, then I want to have this index thing powered and the use thing powered. Use is just a signal that means like you can currently use the value that's coming off of this thing. The reason that I have it separate is because 0 is a valid value that I want to be able to put out. I need a separate signal for that. Mutually exclusive with that is the next signal. When you send a next signal into the iterator to step it to the next thing, it's in next mode, where it like next is powered, use and index are not anymore. So it goes use next, use next, use next, use, and then it goes to done, where all 3 of these other ports are off. No further pushing of next will do anything. The iterator is stuck. You can then reset it. And I think there's a bug in my reset because resetting is bad. What's confusing me is that, you know, I've got reset logic that's been working well for me on other days. You know, this is something that I've been using every day for the past 8 days of advent of code. And that I've already fixed a couple bugs, so I'm getting more and more surprised to find them in here. So it stepped quickly from A through B to C. Now the only way that it can hit B is if these 2 things are true. Whatever that is, and this, which basically, it basically means that we are like 1 away from the final port, which it shouldn't be seeing. But apparently this is sort of staying 3 for a tick, so it's probably just a bug with the memory cell, which sucks. Because, like, it's very rapidly resetting to 0, but probably not rapidly enough. And this memory cell is an unfortunate disaster. And I'm not, honestly, normally in most cases, I can replace that with a dreams variable per iterator. And a variable modifier through some techniques that I just learned about the other day, but I don't think that works for something like this. So, I mean, I think that what is happening here is because I am so rapidly I don't know. It's got to be something with the reset, right? Like, when I pass in that reset value, it goes ahead and sets this thing to 0. And it will never set it to anything other than 0 thanks to this NOT gate powering this thing. However, I think that this logic is just running first. So that's my issue. And due to the unfortunate sort of bad luck of having 2 steps in a row with the same number, I think that's why we're seeing the issue here. That said, I'm not entirely convinced. 1, 2, 3, 4, then it moves up by 1 for some reason, then 1, 2, 3, then down 1, then right 1, 2, 3, 4, then down 1, then left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that is correct, and then right 2. So it's all working except that one step, and the reason must be because the steps are the same length. In fact, I can probably test this empirically by jumping in here and just giving us a, well, heck with it, let's switch this to 3. So now maybe it'll move up by 3 and then left by only 1. 1, 2, 3, and then left by only 1. So that's exactly the problem. When I have 2 of the same value in a row, that's when this bug manifests. And it's specifically because this is staying true. I wonder if I can just, I mean, this sucks, but, well, we're already powering this, so the whole reset logic here, we have this like sort of pulsing sticky selector situation where when we hit reset, it goes to port B, which this essentially waits for us to not be feeding a next value in anymore. And at that point resets everything. I'm gonna make a paranoid change and just see what it does. Okay, that's not, it occurs to me that I did make my paranoid change somewhat in reverse of what I wanted. More not gates. More of them. Can't get enough of them. That doesn't fix it. All right, no paranoid changes. At least not that paranoid change. I was thinking that like I wanted to disable this while we were in the process of resetting the memory cell, but that's not, this is not right. Ooh, I hate this so much. I hate this so much. It, you know what? I could throw in something that like waits for this value, this actual output value to change back to 0 and use that as my signal that we're sort of back to state 1. So then the reset would purely just set this back to 0. The only case where that would fail is if I tried to, if it was already at index 0 and I tried to reset it, which I'm curious if that would work now. I think that if I do an equals here where I loop, or how does this work? You can loop one value into the other. Yeah. And then I could have like this here. So I just want to see this thing like, yeah, so I get like sort of a flicker off every time the value changes. I could explicitly see that more clearly here, where it's like every time the value changes, that flickers. Of course, I don't want that to happen every time when This could be a useful ingredient of a better resetting system. Maybe. Or it could suck. I'm not doing any of that. I'm gonna hack something in out here. The problem as I see it is more or less that, well, no, I guess it is just that the reset itself is failing. All right, fine. We're gonna jump in and edit the source on this. I need to save this thing first, apparently. Advent of code 2022, day 9. And the name of the problem, hey, Ichiban Kaneda. Rope Bridge is the name of this problem. I'm really annoyed by how much time I'm spending on iterator bugs on like every single day of this. Like, I have to figure out something better. I have to figure out something better. It's just, I'm losing so much time to this all the time. I'm confused too, because I guarantee that I've tested this scenario, but somehow in practice, in an actual scene, it's just not working. So like if I set this to 4, you know, just like it was in the other scene, and I set up some switches to probe the next and reset ports, then what do we see? So when we start out, we're use 0, then next, then use 1, next, use 2, next. Now you can see we're stepping around to that thing because, yeah, I'll explain it in a second. Then when we go off here, we are using that final value. You can see that the index is 3 because there are 4 total things. We go 0, 1, 2, 3. And then when we hit next again, we transition into the done state and stay there. So this is where we normally find ourselves. When I hit reset, we're back in state A with a value of 0, and then we can step through the whole iteration again. This actually works. However, I wonder if I put a pulse here. If I reset with a pulse, does that cause problems, or are my problems even worse than that? And let me back up and answer the questions. So I am doing Advent of Code problems in Dreams. Advent of Code is a yearly programming competition that they do in December, where the problems all here. Let me pull up the problem on my other monitor again. There are a bunch of programming problems increasing in difficulty as the month goes on, where they give you sort of an explanation of a problem, some example input, and then you have to write a program that will, you know, take in a big set of data, like a much more complicated input than a human could ever work through, and your program has to spit out an answer. So I am doing these problems in Dreams because I wanted to see how far I could push my logic abilities in Dreams, and I wanted to sort of like test out, like I'm interested as a programmer in Dreams' visual programming system, because I've seen some other system, like there's a bunch of like design questions in the programming space about like how to make programming more accessible to people. A lot of people have these sorts of visual programming systems, but they all vary in quality for different reasons. And I wanted to dive deep on one that I knew I liked and that I knew was like, this one's good. Like the best of its kind. And like, if I can get really good at this, then I'll be in a really good place to judge, like to make, you know, better decisions about like sort of visual programming in general. I know of no better visual programming system than Dreams. So, you know, that's sort of the objective here. Wondering how I was level 28 when I Is 28 a low dreamer score or whatever? I don't, yeah, actually, what is my, like, dreams? I don't know. I have done some pretty fancy stuff in dreams before. I might as well take this opportunity to take a short mental break from my problem here, and let's see. I'm gonna bail out of this since I can't reproduce the issue. Or hold on, actually, before I go out, I wanna see if I can. Nah, that did it fine. So the problems are worse than I thought. Okay, cool. Don't save. Everything sucks. Don't save. We're gonna bail out of that, and I'm gonna go back to my most ambitious dreams project that I ever worked on, which is essentially another programming language built on top of dreams. Now, I say programming language, but it's really just a fancy calculator right now. Where you can like snap together parts of your expression and then put like a math operator on it, and then put in the actual operands that you're going to do the math on. So I could like add together a few numbers here by like putting together 1 plus 2 plus 3. It's going to use the plus operator on all of them. And when I do that, it like walks through the whole list and spits out the result over here. Wow. And you can like do more complicated expressions if you want by like, you can like stack nodes on top of each other and do all sorts of crazy stuff. You can build like parenthesized expressions basically if you do this. Frick, there we go. So this is, as I said, like the most ambitious thing I ever did in dreams. The code for this is horrendous, but it does work. It took me a week. So let's say we were going to add, we'll do like 5 times 5 plus 2 plus 3, and that should give us 30. Why would you do that? Why would you fall apart right at the moment when I am explaining how this all works? 99, huh? Oh, good. Well, everything's broken now. Oh, well. Huh? What parts of this are running and what parts are not? This is nonsense. You know what? Forget it. Forget it. Anyway, that's the most ambitious thing I ever made. But now, I'm stymied yet again by frickin' iteration. My favorite thing. Man, what do I even do here? Yeah, see, most calculators, most programming languages, gravity is just not a problem. You know? You just do math and you write code and you don't even think about gravity. But in this stupid world that I've made, this is one of the things that I have to worry about. Back to the annoying problem at hand here. I'm really not sure what I want to do about this. Really not sure. I think here's what I'll do maybe. I'm gonna not use this iterator thing. I'll just put together like my own custom jank iterator that like uses a dreams variable so that I have more predictable setting and getting behavior. So we'll have this thing called like sub steps remaining. Because basically it's supposed to go right by 4, up by 4, left by 3. So I'll set substeps remaining to 4 or 3, and then I'll just count it down to 0. You know, Dreams has the thing called a counter. Yeah, this. Imagine using the things built into Dreams. So I think what I'm going to do is use this thing called a counter, where the target value is going to be whatever we pass in here. And the count, then we're going to like reset it, and then we can have a step for ticking it up. So when we receive that signal that we're at our destination, then we will increment the counter. Whenever we do tick up the counter, we need to do something, but I'll figure that out in a bit. When the counter is full, that's when we will say that we're done. We will reset when this thing steps to its next thing, and we'll just fingers crossed that that iterator keeps working. The only issue now is that we need the count progress here to like, we need basically to detect when the counter changes. And this is the little bit annoying thing where like right when I start one of these, I kind of want to immediately step to the next. I think I'm gonna do that equals wrapped around on itself trick again to sort of detect a value changing. Shout out to maybe Jimmy Jules or someone else who was in my stream the other night who suggested doing tricks like this. I didn't realize that you could even wire out of the inputs of a calculator, but it's useful because then you can say like, you can like feed a value in on B, and then whenever it changes, it will like output a pulse here basically. And then immediately on the next frame, of course, it's back to its to the value that came in on here, and so it's like true or false or whatever again. So it's going one too many times every time, which is kind of funny. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I suppose because it's pulsing on when this resets to 0, which is not what I wanted. Although it's interesting to me that it, yeah, I guess, I was wondering why it did it on the first time too, but it does it on the first time because the calculator, you'll see like, or this little gizmo does pulse once right when the program starts because actually I have no idea why. It seems like it shouldn't because the count progress, well, I guess the count progress ticks up to 1 right away. Actually, I don't really know. It seems like that should be doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the reset back to 0. Duh. So it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, and the 0 like is one of the steps back around, which is not really what you want. So how do I sequence that? This is where I'm now a little bit out of my comfort zone again, where I have to figure out how I want to sequence this. I feel like if I were to do what I'm naively thinking of, where I'm like, and counter value greater than 0 or something. Then it'll like never start. That's my hunch. It'll be like problem solved. Also, you can't actually ever start the program running. I mean, I'm half right. It reset correctly, but it is never going to actually continue with the program at this point. Because that reset back to 0 just did not, in fact, do that next step like I wanted it to. I wonder if I could cheat like mad and just subtract 1 from the target value because I know that the 0 messes with me. You know? What could go wrong? One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1. No, it went 2. Come on. I can't do 1 anymore. Nah, I didn't think that would work. Too good to be true. I'm sure there's some relatively straightforward thing to do here. It's just escaping me what that might be. I guess the main thing is, oh, here we go, here we go. This'll do it, right? Almost. Almost. Variables do have the value increased and decreased output ports. That's a good point. Is this just a pulse? I imagine it's just a pulse, which probably puts me... Oh, but I see what you're saying. If I reset, that would be... That wouldn't register, right? Because that would be strictly... That'd be going down, and I wouldn't be listening on that one. I could achieve the same with this, probably. And also, I think that this is actually not too far off from what I want. The difficult thing... The difficult thing now, I have like an off by 1 frame error where I was thinking, I will fix it by making sure that the counter can reset, and then on subsequent frames I will discover that we've stepped to the next thing or whatever. But that is not, but I'm getting off by 1 frame now because this thing, I was powering this node before, and what would happen is that like the pulse for this thing changing would come in after this. You know, what if I... What if I just do some terrible selector hacks, like always? You know? What then? No, then I don't need the NOT gate at all, do I? Or no, I need the NOT gate on the... I need the NOT gate here. I'm getting all confused. And then what if I power the selector? Surely this will work. It won't. There are ways to add exemption for 0 like I'm trying to do. The weird thing is, I'm not sure I do want an exemption for 0. And that's the annoying thing. So... And the reason is that when it resets back to 0, I do need to run it once. 0, 1... Well, no, I guess not if I'm using the... Yeah. Let me go back to the except 0 case. And see if I can work from there. It feels a little more correct. Not necessarily completely correct, but like more correct. Because it certainly skips the reset to 0. And then if this is going to be a special case, let it be a special case, right? I just need another way to power this. To actually set these. Which maybe I can do something like use here and the current output equals 0 or something. Why you stop? Okay, why you not go at all anymore? That's really odd. Now this thing is just being true at inopportune times. Such that these things are staying on. And then this pulse happens while they're on. Oh my god, it's the worst. It's the worst. I always do this. I paint myself into these like single frame corners where like I don't want to be to care about frames. I don't want to. I want to send a signal to something and have it happen, and then send another signal and then have that happen, and have it just, you know, the signals flow through. I don't care what frames they happen on. It's all just sequenced by the signals flowing through my program. And yet I never can. I always end up in this world. I don't know how to get out of it. It's heating up here. How do I get out of it? Doesn't make any sense to me. It's inches away from working, and of course, I can't make it work. Because when I reset back to 0, I need it... Well, I need to, like, wait for... I mean, this is why I have the use next thing over here. This is why I have it. Should I turn the counter on with this? I don't know. Let's try that. Nope. What did I do wrong? What did I wire this up to, actually? I wired that up to the index. That would explain it. Okay, it's just not resetting the counter anymore. XOR gate could be handy. You know, maybe. So this is amusing because now the reset signal is ignored. Brilliant. Yeah, what do I do about that? It feels almost right to me. If it could reset while powered down, that would be great. But of course, if it runs both while in the use and next states, or if it's powered while in the use and next states, then I don't get what I want out of this system. So I want it to reset back to 0 and then immediately count up again. Oh, I can do that. What am I thinking? So if this equals 0, then increment. Problem solved? Not quite, because of that, because it's going right away. But maybe after that it works? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Yeah, hey, that's good. It's literally just the beginning is getting a double count now. What if I power this on using, I'm like not even thinking tonight. It's just not one of those thinking nights. Just because like I don't want it to run the very first time. Only then. That's the only time that I don't want it to happen. Although, for that matter, why is this like going on the very first pulse anyway? What is actually triggering that? Oh my god. Yeah. There's the goofy problem that I'm already at my destination at the start of the program because my destination starts at 0, 0, and that's where I start. So like, if I literally just moved this guy over here, then I bet this solution would work great. One, 2, 3. Wait, but it doesn't. It's still ticked up by 1 when I guess it should. Yeah, well, wait a minute. Now, why did I need this? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's really only when I reset to 0 that I want to do that, like, pulse this one time. Begins, yeah, so, but the thing is that, don't they always begin with destination reached? Like, I'm always at my previous destination. Like, of course I am, right? Right? So, but the problem is, I mean, but apparently not, right? Because this destination reach pulsed into increased count, but then a frame later, we reset the whole thing back to 0. That's why I'm getting this problem. That's why I'm getting it. Because that ticked us over to done, and then the done kicked us over to... Wait, this is even weirder than I thought. It's actually reading... Wow, no, this is buggier than I thought. I just realized this is the done thing, and it's going on right there. One step too early. I'm amazed by how much trouble I have with this. I'm amazed. It's amazing. It's incredible. So, I have this spurious pulse right at the beginning, which herp derp init delay on this thing too, because why not? Why are you pulsing? Why are you, why? So just skip the first one, lol. Even that doesn't work. Why are you pulsing? Why? Why are you doing that? Because on the same tick. Why are you pulsing? I'm explicitly waiting for you to be off. Except that when the program's not running, then this is on. So then when the program starts, this selector thing hits immediately, regardless. Why? Why, Dreams? Why do you have to be like this? Like, why? Okay, so now we're going to wait for this to be true, and then for it to be false, and only then will we move to this state. Yeah, because I need to like step up to this many states, right? Where then it's like this goes into here, right? And this goes into here, and this goes into here, right? But I'm still at my destination, so he'll never move anyway. So none of this matters. Okay, well, that was a fun diversion. I think I'm going to, let's take a step back. I'm going to, the first time, since we start at our destination, the first time that this thing becomes false, I mean, I feel like I might just be recreating the same logic somewhere else. Then we're going to click over to this state, and only then will we actually allow ourselves to send that signal. So now we don't get our first pulse, but let me put a switch in so that we can figure out that first tick issue, right? So now he correctly moves 4 and stops like I want him to. And then if I pulse that again, it still doesn't work because of exactly this reason. So maybe herp derp. So that signal like kicks him off for another leg of his little journey. I mean, this seems to be working. Yeah, that actually works. So, jank as this may be, we have some logic now about every time we start a new sequence of moves, we can never be at our destination. That's what this up here is doing. And that means that everything actually works great except for just this first step, just the very first step, which I think, you know, we could try just I'm gonna try one thing. When we step first to the use state of this thing, right? When we explicitly, like, whenever we like go off and then on and take to a new version of something. Now, this is great and all except that my init delay here, yeah, figures. Why did you go 5? God damn it! God! I guess that went 5 too, and I didn't notice. Because this didn't tick it up. Oh. Right. Well, that's actually extremely easy to fix. May have been a little prematurely angry. Hey. Hey, look at that. Okay, good. I did it. That's like a part of the problem done. Oh, it's almost 2 hours in already. I'm not happy with any of that, but it does work. And just to sort of prove the point, it is programmable. So what if we wanted to make it go right by 2 and then down by 5, you know, at first instead? Then we go right 2 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So, I mean, that's nice. So it all is programmable. Programmatical. And at this point, I can start to actually implement the real other, like the rest of the logic of the problem, where I have the other elf like following along in a particular way, which is going to be a little interesting, but it shouldn't be too bad. Let's see. Because now that I've got that whole walk working, I will be able to have this other elf have similar movement characteristics. Also, how does it look if I turn the rocket rotator back on? That looks very nice. I'm still gonna leave it off because I wanna, cause he flails the program around when he does that, and I don't want to deal with that. So, so let's implement now this elf, who is going to have some similar properties overall. In fact, because I can, let's just start by duplicating this one. And then I can just put them both sort of side by side to start, and it should work out okay. They're both trying to move to the same place, in case you couldn't tell. Good. Let's see. I wanted to actually, like, I don't know why actually I decided to do this at all. I was like, oh, it'll be very convenient because I can keep the microchip in exactly the same place, not thinking about the fact that I would have to manually delete everything that's on this microchip. So in retrospect, stupid. But, you know, what's a little stupid? So now, the way that this works, the problem's a little bit funky. Let me pull up the advent of code problem again, because a lot of people have joined since I was looking at it. And let me hide my overlays here. So the way that this works, it's like, you imagine that you have an extremely short rope and you're dragging the head of the rope around, and the tail needs to follow. And the problem specifies that it follows pretty precisely on this grid, and we need to keep track of what grid squares something belongs to, which unfortunately kind of keeps me from doing the dreamsier solution that I would like. Because otherwise I just couldn't really guarantee a good result. So the way that it works here is like, if the head moves to the right, then the tail will move to the right to follow it. If the head moves down, the tail will move down to follow it. If the head can be like 1 square away at most. And if it's more than 1 square away, diagonally, this thing moves diagonally to meet it. If it's more than 1 square away in any cardinal direction, then it just moves in that cardinal direction to meet it. So that's what I need to preserve, and what I'm actually trying to check is how many positions the tail of the rope visits over the course of this whole thing. So I need to make elf 2, who is the tail of the rope, move in much the same way, and then I need to have him like just track how many unique positions he was in, which I guess I'll have to do with like some grid squares on the ground, just like turn on some tags using wireless transmitters or something, do something similar to the tree problem that I did yesterday. So that is the problem. I should really save this. And let's do elf 2. I think that at its core, elf 2 shouldn't be so bad because he is not really driving any of this. I can simply, whenever the head coordinates change, send them wirelessly over to the other guy. Or in fact, I could be sending the coordinates continuously, and the other elf can just check, hey, when these change, do my logic to just run to the next place. So shouldn't be too bad. I can basically just copy the follower and rocket rotator, and take the coordinates here, bundle them together, and send them over the wireless transmitter. So we'll package them up into a 2-number wire. We'll grab our wireless transmitter here and call this head. That'll just be going. Then over here, we'll grab our receiver. We will grab head. You can send fat wires over a wireless transmitter, can't you? I hope. Maybe not. If I have to do 2 wireless transmitters, it's okay, but let's throw a splitter on this and see what we get. Oh yeah, it does work. Okay, good. I thought so, and I'm glad to see that. I can also do just that same looping equals trick on this, where B loops around to A, and that passes across to here, so that this will only fire when something changes, and I can use that to gate the rest of the logic. And when that happens, well, I don't know. Let's just try this first. Why, huh? What are you following? Huh? Gosh. Make sure the copied follower's center is in the right spot. Good call. It is, though, so that's good. The issue, I think, is that I'm not wiring anything into the follower, so it's following something. I don't know what it's chosen to follow, but I need to actually copy over this stuff as well. That just, well, actually, I need kind of all of this. I need it to store its own coordinates. And also do the coordinate transform math correctly. Okay, but it's still just very badly wants to. Why? Why do you want to do that? What are you following? What are you following? What are you following? Oh no. Actually, these variables were changing along with the other variables because my variable modifiers over here weren't set to the correct scope. Okay, there we go. There we go. So now he goes to the center like he wants to be, while that one runs over to there, and now I can start to set up the other core logic for this. So what we need to determine here is basically if it's ever 2 units away in any direction, if the other alpha is more than 2 units away in any direction with its new coordinates, then we need to update our own coordinates somehow. So that's going to be basically like we take our x and y, which I guess I'm just gonna put over here or whatever, and do a couple subtractions. So x minus x and y minus y. Couple absolute values. and then a couple less thans, or greater than or equal to's, I guess. And if that's true, then we need to do our whole update. Also, I guess I should just put all of this probably into one big microchip that I can power on just instantaneously whenever this thing happens. And I kind of, for the sake of this, want to actually I want to wire the 2s in here. But that means that I actually need to bundle this up again. I mean, it's sort of useless to do this, but nice clear wiring is, you know, it's nice or whatever. Okay, so now I have some update logic that I can power on with this thing. Annoying that I have to do this all in the dark, basically, but so be it. I have some inventive ways of doing things. I'll take that as a compliment. I feel especially just like shotgun tonight. It's just like, just fire at random at the board and see what comes out. Does it work? Nope, take another shot. Oh, you missed again. Take another shot. I don't know. So if we've met the condition to actually update our logic, then we'll do a few extra checks. So if we do a few extra let's see, the extra checks are going to be like if either of these is 0, like if X is 0, then we're moving straight up or down, and I can do some logic for that. If Y is 0, then we're moving left and right. And if they're not both 0, then we need to move diagonally. In each case, I can do some math with the sign of the difference to get the direction that I need to change my own values in. So on the other end, I really am just going to have a couple variable modifiers, which I guess I can put in now, to add to X and add to Y. And I'll just pass values into that. And because these are on a powered microchip, I can just have them powered on and not bother actually wiring anything into them. Using the combiners to consolidate wires are the calculator trick for detecting value change. Sure. Well, cool. Glad to be doing clever things instead of just roundabout stupid things. So, you know, it occurs to me that, or no, I do actually need to check this. So then there's going to be three conditions here. Let me, I think, let me drop down and do these conditions. Let's do the case where X is 0. That seems like the natural first step. This means that we are moving up and down, and so we only want to manipulate y. And in any case, we know that it has moved 2 away in some dimension by these conditions up here. So in this case, we can assume if this one is 0 and one of these was at least 2, then then we know that we can change y without having to check anything else. So if that equals 0, the value that we would want y to change by is +1. It's really just the sign of this. It's the sign of y, because if y is positive, then we would want positive change, because we're looking at the difference between them, right? So if we want to move in like the same direction, then this basically tells us. So is there a nice way to get just the sign out of this? I guess I can just do like, well, mod 2 wouldn't get me what I want. I'm gonna make a little helper for getting the sign of a number. Which is basically, I mean, I think it's pretty simple. I just don't want to have that logic duplicated everywhere because I know I'm gonna be using it a lot. So here's my input number, and it's basically just the number. It's just 1 times the it's a, what is it here? The absolute value is involved. Oh, it's the number divided by its own absolute value. That's what it is. I was like, I knew that it was something relatively simple. But if you divide a number by its own absolute value, then you get 1 either way, but you get positive or negative 1 depending on the sign of the original value. So, pretty simple. Grab it! I don't understand why I can't grab that. So we will basically do, I mean, sign of, like, this is what we would pass in here. The sign of y. The sign of this y delta. So if this is true, then we'll do that. I think I'm gonna need some like intermediate nodes or something, but whatever. Actually, that's what these can be. So we can just duplicate this down for the y equals 0, so change x condition. And then the diagonal condition, well, actually, this should... Oh, it's never firing. Wait, what? Is this wireless receiver in a sphere? Dang it! Receive everywhere, please. Thanks. Well, this is intriguing. The equals. So here's the thing. I thought that the equals. I'm actually reasonably certain that the equals thing actually does a like pairwise comparison. You can compare a 2 number against a 2 number, and it compares the A's against the B's. Maybe when it shows me this, it just averages it, but I'm pretty sure that both values are there. I mean, like, I can probably empirically verify this if I just grab another splitter and wire it in here. Yeah, it is 2 and 2. I don't know why this shows 2.83. Is that what 2 and 2 average to in your mind, Dreams? That's working great. The weird thing to me is that this is just never pulsing. I don't know why it isn't. Basically, like, on several ticks here, you know, the value coming in on B should be different than the value coming in on A from, like, the past frame. So I would expect this to be... What is it outputting? It's like outputting a 2 number. Oh, hold on, is this the problem? I thought it would output a single number, but it isn't. That's why. So it is working. It is passing through the 2-wire, but because one of the things is always 1, then not... Dude, come on. I mean, that's all reasonable, but come on. Why... What a reasonable thing to trip me up. What? Why did you want to go over there? Did I? Alright, what did I do wrong? Oh, I did do the subtraction backwards. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Flip that around. Okay, okay. It's sort of working. Sort of. It's working enough that I can debug. So, because that is diagonal movement, so that's actually not surprising. Why do you move like that? Well, I suspect that there's bugs just because he's not... There's several assumptions being broken right now because I haven't implemented the diagonal movement. So let's implement the diagonal movement. It's not that hard at this point. If neither of these are true... So if neither of these axes equals 0, which I'm going to do... or I guess this is not... I need to... Not A and B, De Morgan's laws tells us it's the same as not A or not B. And in this case, I think I just kind of misapplied that. I think I'm sort of stating it wrong anyway. Point is, I want to negate this or in order to get the not A and not B behavior. So if this is the case, we're going to do diagonal movement. And diagonal movement means just take the signs of both. So okay, what? Huh? Great mysteries. It's annoying that this thing flickers on and off. Probably I should... Actually, there's no reason for this to be powered at all anymore, is there? Well, no, there kind of is. I'm going to remove the power wires and set this up slightly differently. Basically make this whole thing just a... I'm gonna put an AND gate in here after this. So we will only actually power on these variable setters if this is also true. Which will allow us to see which logic wants to run. So he should be moving diagonally. By my calculations. Y should be negative, and indeed it is. Yeah, so this is 1. Y should be -1. -1 is up in this world. So that like worked. Except that I am not seeing... Wait, why is this -1? This is Y. This is Y. This one goes to... No, this one's X. Why is the X showing up that way? This is like a colossal accident, isn't it? Because this is... No, it's not. Hold on. We're not gonna power these directly here. We're gonna take a small step back. I want to know the sign of our X and Y deltas, and I just want to view those right now. I want to just see those happen. Oh, I guess that's not going to show me -1. Numbers it is. Yeah, that's a positive. Okay, yeah, so actually something's very wrong. Both wires into one knot. That may have been for an older... I'm sorry if I missed a timely chat message. Oh yeah, that doesn't matter. He just wants to run back to his original position anyway. So this is in fact what I would expect. So for starters, this is our X and Y delta, and it is what I expect. And basically, I think I can make this actually relatively simple. If x is 0, we want to power down. Actually, no, we don't need any comparisons at all. I just realized that we don't need any comparisons at all. Oh no, I moved this guy to a jank starting spot. So here's the thing. At this point, when this happens, we've got 1 and 1, which means I would have expected. I'm so dumb. This variable modifier, x. This variable modifier, also x. It's getting too far away now. They're supposed to stay 1 square apart, but he is moving with the correct rules now. That is, following diagonally in the case of... I'm glad that works. Wow. God, that's so annoying. So annoying that was the bug. Like, of course that was the bug. What a stupid mistake. Don't worry about it. It's... gosh, what a stupid mistake. I really should have checked that first. He was only moving horizontally. So now it seems like he's lagging behind. Where basically, like, my intent here, I thought this was right. Greater than or equal to 2. Because, like, he's moved to the right. He's going to 2, which means that I should be immediately following. But I feel like, is this another frame delay? Because, like, right now, his coordinates are higher. You know, right now, Elf1's coordinates are 1, 0. Which is why you're seeing the 1, 0 delta here. I should be staying in place for now. This is the case. However, now my coordinates over here have bumped up to 2, 0. The deltas are still right. But these didn't power on like they were supposed to. And why? Because, like, you saw another flicker there, which indicates that it detected the change in coordinates. You know, there's one flicker at the beginning and then another flicker right there because his coordinates changed to 0. So that should have come in here. And in fact, you could see the pulse on the wire, but for some reason, these things did not compute as greater than or equal to 2. Which, I mean, it totally should have, right? Yeah. I wonder if there's some horrible jank from this being a cycle. Because it seems to me like this thing being driven by all the same numbers as the other thing should, you know, when this sees a new value, all the other wires should be up to date already, right? Like, we should immediately see that the coordinates coming in are more than 2 away from our current position in either direction. And that should cause us to trigger that second gate. But it feels like are they happening on different frames? Like, are they actually? What if I just am really terrible and throw the old delay on it? Delay / smoothie thingy. Perfect. This is... I was really hoping that they would always just sort of bonk off each other and get to where they need to go. But apparently this is not always the case. I should have them start randomly jumping when I should have the front elf jump. How do you make a puppet jump? How does this even work? Jump! Okay. So maybe this is an extremely stupid thing, but what if I, like, whenever we tick to a new step here, you know, whenever one of these changes occurs, what if I started a timer for the old jump? We're like 1 second in. Here, I'll do like 0.5 for now because I want to see it work. When the timer finishes, you jump. Is that when they bump into each other like that? This will solve all my problems. I think we're gonna disable the old jumper for a little bit. But also I need to turn up the strength on this follower a little bit so that he more strongly... Whoa. I think I should probably set that uniformly on both, shouldn't I? Both elves should be moving with the same intensity. My concern here... Why are they like lining up on the same spot at the end? This is bizarre to me. Because as far as I can tell, they shouldn't be. Like, it goes like left 5 and right 2. Let's see. Left 3, down 1, right 4. Down 1, left 5, right 2. Oh, it's not supposed to move over there at all. It's just on the wrong coordinates now. Let me check the advent of code problem here. Do they end on the same space? No, they don't actually. I kind of just want to investigate. Down 1, left 5. So this is now 0, 2 as I'd expect. But then I would expect, per the problem, the tail to remain in the 0... Wait, 0, 2? Zero to what? No, there's something wrong with how it's... It should be at 2, 1. But it's at 2, 2. Something's wrong with how this thing is calculating coordinates. You know, it occurs to me that I have no idea what sine does if the incoming value is 0. So, let's just explicitly handle that so I don't have to wonder. Although, I mean, I guess I could just test. Like, I guess 0 divided by 0 is 0. I mean, it's been working. I don't actually think that's the problem. In fact, I can see it working here. So... There are some deep shenanigans happening here. Why is this 0-0 right now? Why? That's 2-0. This is 2-0. Oh no. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing if I want to see the current values. I wanted to see X and Y. Oh no. It's flickering around so much. Why are you doing that? How is it like rapidly changing by, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no. That's really unpleasant. Because it should be like, we see the blink here happening steadily. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1. You know, that's happening on a good interval. Yet these things are powering up on a terrible interval. For reasons not clear to me. We're gonna try some Uber jank. Total Uber jank. We're just gonna introduce like 3 extra frames of this and see what happens. Oh, lovely, I fixed all my problems. Lovely. Mwah. If in doubt, just add 3 extra frames of a signal through this mess. That's the worst. That's the worst. And it works perfectly. Oh, wow. That's great. I love that. I love that. So, let's save that. This is like one of my worst solutions ever. It's just so hacky in so many places. So, let's set up all I need to do now is track the number of distinct places that yonder elf has been. And I think the way to do that is to probably just set up a grid of things in the world that all like will sort of, I imagine it, they can be like little platforms or something that the like I'm imagining like little grid squares on the floor that light up when the one elf stands on like the center of them. Which is going to be a little odd, but what did I wire into there? Ah, that's right. I had a tag. Time to turn on grid stuff again. There. Then I can turn off grid stuff and scoot them over close again. Okay. Yeah, he's even moving onto the specific grid squares better. Like he's moving in good diagonals. So, my only question here is how to set up, well, whatever. I was like, how am I going to set up the exact sort of stuff that I want for the scenery if I want a snowy landscape and also a disco dance floor? How am I going to make that work? The answer is I'm going to stop caring. There's one cube of my dance floor, which I can style in some better way, I guess. Let's make it shiny. I guess I should have done this while I was, whatever. What is coat mode even for? But to correct my mistakes after the fact. Is this even doing anything? Did that make it shiny? I'll take your word for it that that's shiny. Yeah. So I guess it was shiny. What color do I want it to be? Let's see. Obviously it should be a red and green floor, right? Let's see, what sort of fleckage do I want? Actually, I want none. I don't care. I'm out. I quit. Let's duplicate this over. And I guess the one thing that I would like to do is make this like a rounded... How can I do that? The answer is that you start over with like an entirely different a whole new everything. How do I change the roundiness of a rounded cube? Oh. Oh, and this is how you... Frag. How I wish I had known things. So many things that I wish I had just known. Shape editor. Figures. Actually, I do want this to be that tall, but how do I... How do I just make it less round? Like, what am I not understanding here? I just want to make it less round. Well, you can't. Thanks. Okay, well, whatever. I guess I'm just confused because, like, maybe what I can do... No, because it gets proportionally rounder when I stretch it out like this. Huh. Well, back to a normal cube. It's fine. Oh, no, wait. These are all the wrong size. Actually, can I... Yeah. Yep, that's the idea. Oh, you know, if only Dreams had this ability to easily repeat something. You can see exactly the grid that they're walking around on now, which is nice. It occurs to me that I was supposed to... Gosh. Such an idiot. I needed to put, like, a tag on every one of these. Well, I could probably, oh no, now I can't redo. I've really made a mess of things. Let's put the tag on here. I'll be able to repeat all that quite easily. So, this tag is going to be called space. That's really all I need. Well, no, it's not. I also need a microchip on here, I guess, that powers the tag on when it receives a wireless transmitter signal. So when I receive the let's see, where is this gonna be? This is going to be on space. When we receive this, we're gonna toggle the tag on. And until then, the tag will be off. So this will just allow me to, whenever this guy is sort of close to his target, we will send out the on space signal. Via transmitter. On space. So I saw that turn the tag on, so that's good. The other part of this, I guess, is that when this is, when this is the case, we also want to make this thing glow some amount. So maybe glow a little more, I'm not sure. It's gonna be real bright. I guess I don't have to have it emit light from that, so then I can make it as bright as I want, and it'll be fine. We'll do that. We will do that. Anyway, now I can duplicate stuff, and if I have to delete it all again and reduplicate, that's fine. I don't want to bother making it a separate scene right now. Why didn't it light up? Why? I guess I might just need to make this more forgiving. I think that's all it is. Yeah. mean, that's too many, but... No! It's extremely close to working. He just doesn't get close enough on some of those. I guess also I really didn't need any of these. Clearly way too many. Oh. Clearly way too many. One row more than I needed to do. Here, I just have to make this, like, considerably more forgiving. How is that not it? Check it out. That lines up with this down here. That lines up with that. Okay. So now all that remains is to set this in a snowy landscape and put up the final count and call it. Whoa. Stupid precise move. Always being precise. Who even wants precise movement? I could offset some of these vertically, which would be sort of fun. Sort of. Fun in a really unfun kind of way. I'm curious if he can... See this? I kind of want to do this now because that would let me just... You know, like, set each of these up just enough. Just enough to be out of the snow. It just gets a little weird, I guess, when I have to, like, dive under the snow to grab these. Why did you do that? There we go. This is tedious. I guess what I should do, I can just, like, temporarily disable this, can't I? I'm such an idiot. If this all bombs and it like doesn't work, then I'll just reset it all, but I just like how this looks. I don't know, I feel like it actually kind of diminishes visually from the result, even though it does apparently work. Yeah, that's kind of a shame. Oh well. I love how they bump into each other at the end. All right, let's throw a number in the sky and call it a day. So, all I gotta do for the actual output here, I'll just snap a big microchip on the ground here. On it will go a, I do need a trigger zone actually, because we are going to detect the tag space, there we go, yeah. And we're going to detect it within a boxy region, or I guess really I can just do the whole scene, it doesn't actually matter. And that will detect a number. And then I can put the number in the world using a number displayer. That's the wrong number. Okay. Make a nice, pretty 0. Let's see, let's start actually by putting it sort of on the ground in the middle of the grid, just so that I know where it is. Is this sufficiently on the ground? Now let me, well, it doesn't actually matter. I was gonna do the like always face camera thing, so now I can just move it up. And now it just counts out. Yeah, cool. Let me, oh, that sucks. I wanted to turn this so that it was at the back, but now everything else is gonna be. Why you gotta be like that? Why? There, you know, perfect. But now I gotta move that number back into position. Mistakes were made. Throw in a camera. I always forget that I have to turn these off or I frame things up really badly. There we go. Yeah, this'll do. So now I can just go into game mode here. And we'll save this. Thanks for the follow, Dagodin. Sorry I missed that. Okay. 3 hours, 8 minutes. Perfect. It does make me happy to see this all, you know, working relatively as expected. So, day 9 complete. I did it. So, man, what's my like conclusion from the day here? My iterator stuff is really bad. It's really bad. It like works most of the time and then really just doesn't work. I feel like I need to figure out, I need to go back to the drawing board on the whole iterator thing. I could maybe build an iterator around a counter and have it work a lot better, like keep much of the same logic that I have now, but just get more predictable resets or something. So I may want to go back and build like an iterator 2.0 at the start of stream tomorrow. Other than that, what were the issues that I ran into? A lot of stuff, it was mostly around iteration because there was a lot of stuff that just, you know, when it comes down to it, was just stuff happening on the wrong frames. And that's kind of all iteration and sequencing. So it's kind of just the same pain points over and over again. That works though. So yeah, I think when I come back at this tomorrow, I'm gonna start by trying to rebuild my iterator using a counter. Which, in retrospect, I probably should have done to start with. There's really no reason to use a memory cell, the memory cell thing that I have. Especially just knowing that that approach leads to like weird execution order problems. Just more like, not more often than not, but often enough to be a problem. So, either way, I'm happy with this. Let me go into my, I have a spreadsheet now that I'm using to track how long it takes me to do each problem. So let's take a look at yonder spreadsheet. And let's go ahead and punch day 9 in at 3 hours and 10 minutes. Oh, whoops. Put it in this column. I've been going back and doing some of the problems in JavaScript, which is like a normal programming language that I know. And they usually take me about 10 minutes. Which just feels so brutal. 3 hours versus 10 minutes, like the efficiency difference is staggering. And obviously, Dreams is not designed to make sort of plain old computing easy. Like, I know there's going to be significant overhead, but like, I feel like if I were to get more granular and add up the time that I waste, like where do I spend my time in Dreams? so much of it is debugging these sequencing issues right now, where it's just like something just doesn't happen when I think it should happen. And if I can get good at that, I can save like an hour a day. But oh well. For now, it's not to be. Thanks all for hanging out. I will be back tomorrow for day 10. Let me see if a streamer that I follow is live. She is. Excellent. I get to do a raid. So we are going to raid Brookie Kazooie, who she's a great game streamer. Chill, relaxing streams whenever she streams. I just enjoy watching her in the evenings when I want to relax. So I'm gonna kick you over to her. Give her a wave when you get there. Thanks all for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Oh, do I have to like wait and click raid now in 10 seconds? I see how this works. All right.
Hello. How are y'all doing? How's it going? Thank you so much for raiding over. Oh, you're playing Dreams. Nice. How was that? That's where you like make your own games and that like engine, I guess. I don't know what the word is for it. Fun doing programming challenges in it. It is hard. Nice. That's super cool. I don't really know a ton about that game, but I've seen like bits and pieces about like some kind of things that people can make in it. And I'm just like, how? How does someone do this? That's really cool. I'm glad that you have fun. Cool trying out different things like that, right? Thank you so much for raiding. I appreciate it. We are just about to fight